You've got to talk about these Sharks.
Oh, I'm not a doctor. Hey everyone, welcome back to the... what?
No. Ah, that's better. Nah, just kidding.
Oh. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by our good friends at Top Sport, onelittlefootyfan.com.au and the Stubby Club. Don't forget to like and subscribe to everyone. Dan, another weekend of rugby league has been and gone.
It's been and gone. We went to Canberra and I got a little sunburnt.
Yeah, I mean, 40 odd degrees down there.
Very, very
What a road trip we had though.
Great fun, horrible result. We'll discuss that further in detail. But overall, pretty good week of football.
It is. Now, what wasn't good, players getting abused in the DMs online. Now, Ronaldo Mulitalo has come out and said the abuse that he got after the Canberra trial was just unacceptable. He's talking about Latrell Mitchell and everything they go through, all the players.
Kyle Felt as well.
Yeah, Kyle Felt.
Came with some horrible, horrible stuff.
Yeah, and then you get two reactions from this. You get the fans that turn around and go, this is unacceptable, it shouldn't happen. And then you get certain sections of the fans that go, I reckon Ronaldo's just making that up. Yeah,
I mean, screen caps and everything. I just want to draw a very quick conclusion because before people start crying hypocrisy, there's a big difference to what we do and what happens in these DMs. We put a face and an opinion to it and we say, hey, I don't think so-and-so played very well on the weekend. But you don't catch us in the DMs saying, oi mate, I hope your mum gets so-and-so'd up to so-and-so. That is absolutely not on.
Yeah.
My good mate Steg said, perhaps it's time to grow up. Couldn't agree more.
Well, it's not only time to grow up, but I think Ronaldo's right now. If you're going to give people the online voice, it's got to be verified.
Yeah, put your photo to it. At least own your conversations.
Yep.
It seems to stand from, I know he had a bad game and he cost him a multi.
Yeah, or
that's got to stop. Or
cost me a
Supercoach.
wicked Supercoach, yeah.
Who cares? Okay, now look, I'm prone to yelling. I called for Royce Hunt to be dropped the other week after he got sin bin and cost a try. But I would never DM him. I would never say it to his face because he's freaking gigantic. But I would never DM him and say, oi, Royce, I think, I want to see your livelihood end because you slightly annoyed me on a game that I watch on Sunday afternoon rather than spending time with the family.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we all know that I had a go at Ronaldo, but I did it actually online to him.
Yeah, to him.
So everyone could see it.
It was, and it
was tongue in cheek.
It was, hey, Ronaldo, stay in your wing.
You're a winger, you're not a second rower, stay there.
Yeah, so I mean, put it this way, if you're in doubt on whether you cross the line, don't send the message. Yeah,
and just don't be a coward, don't DM him. If you've got something to say, just say it.
Yeah, and then we've seen people retweet. I said to Jace Bakuya one day, by accident, I was, not unhappy to see him lose for his new club, the Warriors. Dumb.
Yeah.
He retweeted, beat it, and I got flogged in the comments. Got my medicine.
That's how you do it.
Won't be doing that again.
Don't be a coward. One of the things that has come out of this weekend, Dan, is the unusual high scores that we've seen. The opening rounds, scores were quite low.
It's true.
This weekend, scores were quite high, but there was only one blowout, and that happened in the final 10 minutes of the game. 9 minutes of the game, if you would.
Multiple try after try. Enjoyable.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of fans say that, what happened to defence? Who cares?
Yeah, I love some attacking footy.
Do you think it had a little or perhaps a lot to do with the heat?
Oh, yeah, I do. Look, the one thing that I can't cop about the heat is if a team uses an excuse, because there's another team that was on the field that beat them.
Agreed. But
I do think that the smart play, like that Matt Burton try, is exactly what that heat was. Two gassed forwards in 40-degree heat, and Burton just went, bang, see you later, I'm in. It's
definitely become a game plan over the weekend.
Yeah.
So of course the one blowout was the Broncos, who, if you take the last 9 minutes out, that game was really, really close.
Wasn't it?
I got to say, this weekend was one of the more enjoyable, Cronulla result aside, but even that game was high scoring.
Yeah.
You probably saw some tries there that you wouldn't see, or you hope you wouldn't see otherwise. Definitely in the Bulldogs-Tigers game. I think it was Addo Carr ran through, and Charlie Staines jogged. He knew he wasn't going to get him, but he didn't want to exert that energy to get there. So I wouldn't worry too much. I think when it starts cooling off and, gets under the 50 degrees Celsius, I think we'll start seeing it.
That effort from Brent Naden, though. He knew he wasn't going to catch Addo Carr, but he just kept him away from going under the post.
See, brilliant. Those little bits. But, I wouldn't want to be a forward this past weekend.
No, absolutely not. Now, we were just talking about the Tigers there. Now, they were down 26-6 and looked like we were heading for a blowout. I know, we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It looked like they were heading for an absolute blowout. And they make a very subtle change. And that subtle change turns into a whole calamity of changes. They hook their winger, David Norfolum, who was having a shocker.
Fair enough.
They hook him, they put Dewey at fullback, stick Charlie Staines on the wing, put Luke Brooks at 6 and bring Brendan Wakeham on at 7, and they score 3 tries in 4 minutes. I'm going to pose a question to you. Is Luke Brooks the problem at the Tigers, or is it David Norfolum?
Well, I mean, the proof's in the pudding because Brooks had arguably his best 10-minute or 15-minute spell this season. So I know you were very tongue-in-cheek there, Terry, but a lot of fans have come out and said that Norfolum has brought the feeling in the room down.
Yep.
Especially after saying what he did about going to Melbourne.
Correct.
It's good to play for a professional club. We talk about a backhanded compliment. Yeah, I dare say that we're going to see that change because Brendan Wakeham's been arguably the form player across competition in the New South Wales Cup. His stats are ridiculous. They were calling for Brooks to be dropped. I'm happy for Brooks to be dropped. I've been calling for it for like 9.5, almost 10 years now. But if you have to stick him there, put him in the 6 where he doesn't have to worry about running the game. And look what happened.
My only reaction to this is, yeah, Wakeham came off the bench and he got to play against some gassed people. He's going to front up against the Melbourne Storm this weekend starting at 7. We think that's what's going to happen. And you may get a reality check.
Yeah, it's going to be different, but I think it's worth a shot. What they're doing ain't working.
It's definitely worth a shot. They've got a real tough run coming up. Last year on the show, we said, well, the only way is up for the Tigers, and they're 17th. So,
not so far.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned something off air. Dane Laurie, where does he fit back in that side?
I know Dane Laurie was injured this week. So for mine, it's another subtle change to this. I think you got to put Dewey. I think his best spot's in the centres. He's too slow for fullback. He's really big.
Yeah, he's a big dude. Yeah.
He's had some real good games in the centres. You got to put him in the centres. Dane Laurie at fullback. You got to get all the play. Like the one thing that Tigers really struggle for is points.
Get them all out there.
You got to just get them all out. Get all the creativity out there. And if it doesn't work, Tim Sheen's got to fire himself.
Yeah, well.
Some suspensions this week, Dan. Now we're seeing Joey Manu. Has he taken the
early plea?
Yeah,
he
good
missed
on
a
him.
week. I'll tell you what, we were there live, and he's lucky to get just a week.
I think he's very lucky to get just a week as well. What I think went in Joey Manu's favour is 1, he's a poster boy. 2, he's the Golden Boot winner. 3, I can't remember the last time Joey Manu was charged.
Yeah, well, I was coming home with a Roosters fan, and she said that there were no priors. I didn't want to look it up, had to take her at face value.
Yeah.
That definitely saved him.
But I mean, it's not like you could turn around for some other players and go, oh, well, he's done this, he's done that, like Felice Kafusi. Now,
his rap sheet.
I didn't think the shot was warranted for 4 weeks until you read the rap sheet in the last 18 months, which has come back to haunt him. Now, he's gone to the judiciary to fight it because I think guilty plea, it's 3 or 4 weeks.
Nothing really.
But he's looking for a downgrade.
Nothing to lose. Yeah, those priors really get you. And the first one, multiplies. The second multiplies again. By the time you got 3 or 4, you're in real trouble.
Yeah.
Love tap cops you 4 weeks. I think he's gone. I think I'll get the downgrade because I don't think the shot was that good. I think the judiciary have looked at it and gone, 15th time unlucky, mate.
Yeah.
Copper 4. I think he'll miss 2.
Yeah, I think he'll miss 2 as well. But he's trying to play this weekend.
To play? No.
They're trying to get it downgraded to a fine. I think they'll get it downgraded, but he's still going to miss 1 or 2. Now, Jerome Hughes, I actually didn't see this incident here, and I was very surprised to learn that he had priors, which has got him his 1 week suspension. Yeah,
they could be without him and Munster this week, which
Munster's due back.
Well, he's going to have to come back, I think, because they're not much good without him. Look, I saw the incident, but I can't. If you said describe it to you, I can't. I think he might have got unlucky. He's fallen foul of the prize.
Yeah, I think he's going to get off. I think he's going there to fight it. I think he'll get a fine. He'll end up with a $3,000 fine, and unlike Ryan Madison, he'll pay it. Dude, the last thing, the bugbear of mine, and I've held on to this for a little while now.
You've done well.
What is the point in giving 2 points to teams that have a bye?
Tradition.
I get it. I understand it. But there's no point. Everyone gets the same amount of buys. Don't give them the points. You don't need to give points, or you start everyone on 6 points.
There's 2 ways to look at this. One,
I hate it.
At the end of the season,
either way, I hate
it's going to be the same. But you look now, and Manly started the season with a win and a bye and sat above a team that won twice. That looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it's an embarrassment. I don't think you should get points for a bye because you're not doing anything. But if you can get points for beating the Tigers, you might as well get them for the bye.
Dan,
Talk to me, Terry.
we're about to talk some black, white and blue losers this week.
No fins.
No fins.
No fins.
They don't deserve it.
People tuning in for a, hey, everything's sweet. This ain't the week. We went to Canberra, Terry.
We did.
It was great. I had a fantastic time, except 80 minutes. You want to guess which 80 minutes?
Well, it could have been the Jets game.
Yeah, they weren't much good. We'll talk about them in a minute. But look, overall, we one-man team, Terry.
Yeah, Will Kennedy. It's Will Kennedy FC at the moment. No one else is. Well,
Yeah. Whoa. Nakora Island. Whoa.
Yeah, Nakora Trindle.
Yeah, well, that worries me. Britt Nakora's played really, really well. Way better than last year. Kennedy's playing better than he was last year. Braden Trindle's playing at a really, really high level, and we're still losing to teams that are missing their second best forward, a superstar winger, and aren't much chop in the centres.
And they didn't have a full. They had a second role playing fullback.
Look, this wasn't a good win. I know 4.6 point, whatever it was, loss in Canberra. They beat us all the time. It was 1,000 degrees. Blah blah blah. Nico's back next week. What if Nico's calf goes and he misses another 3? Do we just wait for Nico again? Not good enough.
You're posing a really, really good question on here, Dan, and I know it's the bottom part. I want you to ask it now.
Are we as good as we thought we were, or we just get too excited in the pre-season?
I think we're as good as we think we are. I just don't think the players believe it at the moment. Now, you and I went through all the teams and we said, Cronulla may not finish first this year, but we are the deepest team in the competition. The next man up, we've got players that, like Jack Williams might find himself 18th man in a couple of weeks. He walks through that Tigers pack. Braden Trindle might find himself back playing for Newtown as the best halfback in the competition. And you've got Tigers, Knights, Dolphins, everyone going, how do we get him out of his contract? And he's just re-signed.
Yep, spot on.
So I think we are as good as we think we are. I just don't think the players believe it. And for whatever reason, they've gone away from what worked in the first half of last. They can't defend the goal line. They
cannot. Any adversity and we fold. There were times, and again, we were in Canberra, where there was a penalty and we looked at each other and we said, we're going to concede here. Whereas last year, I don't care how many sets of 6 you gave another team on our line, I was confident. Okay, sometimes you're going to cop tries, but more often than not, I was confident. We're going to repel this. It's not a worry.
Last year, it was more teams scoring long-range tries on us. Yeah. They don't do it now.
No, they didn't need to. The fact that Corey Hawes, right, I'm just going to call it, he's an average front rower. He's a bench forward in a team missing Josh Papali'i. He's not that great. He made us look ridiculously bad. We make other teams' forwards look better than they are. I think Cronulla have lost 2 games rather than teams beating us. And I still maintain on paper, okay, there's a few better sides with more talent, but no one can beat Cronulla except Cronulla. We saw that in Canberra. It's starting to drive me a little bit crazy. The only thing that's keeping me sane is a certain halfback's due this week. But if you're expecting him to go off 3 weeks out with a calf injury and go in and be his daily himself...
Yeah, and have the touch and...
You're asking a bit much. Now, he may do it because he's a freak, but you can't rely on that. He may play 60. Trindle might come on for the last 20, and I'd be okay with that, especially if the game is won. It should be won, but I'm not that confident now.
Nah.
It's the same players every single week making the same errors, which brings me to a question, Terry. With Nico coming back... Do you stick with Moylan or do you go with Trindle?
I'm going to give a very diplomatic answer here, because if you're asking me on the form of the first 3 weeks, like I'm not even sending Matt Moylan to the Jets.
Yeah.
I'm sending him into a dark room where you just sent me to have a good hard think about it, right?
Oblivion.
Because Braden Trindle has been arguably our best player. Got the most daily endpoints for us, right? What I think's going to happen though is Matt Moylan built enough credit last year in his combination with Nico Hines for Fitz to turn around and go, I've seen what Trick can do. I need to see what you can do with Nico. And if it's not working, then we know Tricky's next man up.
I agree.
So I think that my biggest bugbear of this is that Jack Williams played 13 minutes on the weekend and he's going to get dropped and Trindle's going to go on the bench.
We saw a couple of weeks ago Connor Tracy not get used, and the week before I know we were struggling for a fourth. The bench rotation is not right, especially in 100-degree weather. Williams should have played a lot more minutes.
13 minutes in that heat.
Unforgivable. And we saw at the end of the game, Toby Rudolph came off. He was gasping for air like his life was on the line. Now, I know, obviously, it's hot, and I don't blame the bloke for a second. He's super fit. But their forwards all played much bigger minutes, and they had a bloke go off for HIA in like the 5th minute. We are not using... I don't want to bag Sir Fitz. I love the bloke. But if he's going to name 4 forwards, use them.
Especially down in Canberra when it was 36 degrees at kickoff.
It was hot.
But by the time half-time come around, it had cooled down. But you've already got 40 minutes of that heat onto the players.
Spot on. And we saw Williams was doing up and down. And every time he'd go and you expect him to get a card and go on for 10 minutes, then nothing.
Back down.
He came on, made some impact, came off, you never saw him again.
Yeah.
That'll improve. I think there's a degree of in the head. Nico's back next week, so everything will be sweet. I hope they start playing like it, because if they keep playing like this, not so good.
No, I also think there's an element of this team is at its peak for what it can do. And we saw last year it was second, and I think this year that we're still a top 4 team on paper. But for mine now, it's looking like if we want to take that next step, we've actually got to bring some fresh faces in. Because a lot of these players have been around since 2018, 2019. They're settled in the club. I get it. But we need you need some recruits that can come in and make a difference. Like Oregon Kafusi, great. He had a really good game, impactful runs. But we need 2 or 3 fresh faces into that team.
I think this weekend, I'm calling for Tom Hazelton. He had a great game for Newtown, and he played through an injury. And again, it was 50 degrees when Newtown were playing, because there was no shade anywhere to be seen in that concrete jungle. I think the calls for Sam Stone Street are getting louder every week, because there's one... It's Sione Katoa. Game on the line, he kicks the ball halfway to Goulburn. Unforgivable. Okay, one error. Every time they went right, he's standing there and he got hammered. You go to Ronaldo makes a half break. He runs back inside. He and Talakai. I'm not there yet, but I'll tell you what, I'm getting close.
I'm not there yet on Sione. What I am hearing, and like that left edge of Moylan, Talakai and Ronaldo, it's just not defending well. So I think, I've seen people go, Connor Tracy should go in there, or Daniel Atkinson can go in there. No, if you're going to blow the left edge up, put Ronaldo into centre, put Stone Street on the wing.
Yeah, I'm 100% behind that. I definitely think we need something.
We need something. Let's start with Nico and see what he can do. And if you're still making the same things,
don't blow it up this week. Don't blow it up. It's important that last year we played a very Nico-centric.
We're coming into a bye as well, so it's really important that we beat the Dragons, we beat the Warriors, and we get the bye. But I will say this, that if Matt Moylan doesn't step up this weekend, Trindle needs to come back into the side. And like Fitz, we love you. We think you're going to be the greatest coach of all time. But don't hold on to that. Don't be the coach that holds on to the sentiment of players and you feel that you owe them, because you don't owe them anything and they can get you sacked.
Yeah, well.
We touched on it quickly, Dan. We were there for the Newtown Jets game. Started off 8-0, looked like we were cruising.
They were.
I made a comment when we were 8-0 up. After Sam Stone Street scored, I said, mate, it wouldn't surprise me if we just didn't just walk this game, walked the New South Wales Cup with how good they were playing. And then it just...
Almost to the second you made that comment.
It just turned to crap.
Fell apart.
Yeah.
Big boy.
Yeah.
Big Tooks we're going to call him.
Big Tooks.
That's what Sir Fitz called him. So it's good for him, it's good for me. Ginormous. Casts a shadow over you, and that doesn't happen all too often.
He's a big boy, but that heat really got to him.
It was not his...
His first run, he literally made 15, 20 metres. He folded some bloke like laundry, and then...
He was a passenger.
And then he was... I got tired looking at how tired he was.
He wasn't the only one, but he was definitely the biggest one. I think there's some size there. I think post-Origin, I think he's the way.
Shout out to Tommy Hazelton going out in that heat with that bald head and not putting a wig on either. Or asking, the touch he had a hat.
Yeah, why or a visor?
Put a headgear on, do something.
Yeah.
What's the visor going to do? He's still got the dome on top.
He was red as a beetroot, but I'll tell you what, I think he was our best player.
I think him, Geordie Liu and Jaden Burrell were our best players on the weekend. I would have said Dan Atkinson, but his 2 kicks out on the full and the way he Peru, we were asked Should Trindle be looking over his shoulder? No.
Terry.
Talk to me, Dan.
It's time for some top sport tips.
Favourite
Coming
part of the
off a ripper of a week last week.
We tipped a perfect round between us.
My mighty Titans got up. How did the Tigers go?
Look, I said they would win by 4. They lost by 4. That's an improvement.
That's close. That's close you're going to get.
That's a win for me.
Take it.
We do.
Good fun.
Look, good round of footy this weekend. I don't know if anyone knows. There's no Super Saturday. We've got Super Sunday
There's
this
an
weekend.
okay Saturday. New South Wales Cup's on though, so technically there's 3 games.
Technically, we get the Super Saturday. Let's start though. Thursday night, grand final rematch, blockbuster game out at Parramatta. Ryan Madison's return game, I believe.
From the world's most hilarious suspension.
I still don't see them winning this game.
Nah.
Penrith are fresh.
Penrith coming off the bye. Parramatta ain't. I hope Para win. But
I don't.
I think Penrith.
I'm gonna same scoreline as the grand final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was. All right, just to build a little bit of tension, I'll say they win just. But I think they pants them. I think they pants Parramatta.
Yeah, I do as well. That Parramatta backline, like when you're arguing, is your winger going to be Hayes Dunster or Isaac Lumi? Yeah, I think that just spells disaster for Parramatta on the weekend. Then they got the Roosters.
They're going 0-5. They'll still make the finals. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Penrith though.
Penrith.
Friday afternoon. This is a 6 o'clock time slot game.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. The return of the time slot.
Melbourne Storm missing 24 players.
Everyone.
Plus their trainer, plus everyone else. Canteen ladies on
Their
strike.
bus ain't working.
Yeah.
And they're still favoured to beat the Tigers.
Still favourites to beat the Tigers.
With good reason.
Down there in Melbourne.
Who are you tipping, Terry?
Well, look, I'm going to stick to saving grace that Tim Sheen's actually made a really good call to get rid of Nofaluma and put some attacking plays in. If they can swing Dane Laurie back into that. We saw a little bit of prime Appy Coruscant in this game. Isaiah Papali'i, I believe, is back.
Yeah, he's back. That's a big inclusion. I think he'll stand and watch Melbourne go to town.
Look, Tigers for mine. Tigers for mine on the back of a Luke Brooks at number 6 masterclass. No. But yep. No. Friday night footy sees game 2 of the Rugby League Outlaws 4X Cup.
Who would have seen this coming?
The 2 undefeated
Someone's
teams.
O must go.
Yeah.
As the Brisbane Broncos travel to play the Dolphins.
The Brisbane Broncos travel from Brisbane to Brisbane.
This is going to be a sellout on a Friday night with a game where neither team have lost. If you'd said that in the preseason, I would have said no.
They've had 3 draws.
Yeah,
that's right. So this game needs a draw. Because neither of these teams deserve to lose.
I'm so excited about this game, and I never thought I'd put those words in that order.
I almost want to cancel all my Friday night plans of nothing to watch this game, so I will.
Yeah, done.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I am high on Dolphins fever at the moment. I thought I was going to tip the Broncos, but I'm sticking with my boys.
Yeah, the boys, the Dolphins.
I'm sticking with
I think reality hits, and I think Brisbane play. Reece Walsh.
Look, heart says the Dolphins are going to win. His head says the Broncos are going to win by 20.
You got to go with your heart. So I'm on Brisbane. I think that centre pairing, because you had Herbie Farnworth playing like he was on fire, and Tony Staggs was like,
what's on fire?
And then this week he comes on and plays like that. Reece Walsh, that last 15 minutes is the best 15 minutes I've seen all season.
Ezra Mann is the best player in the competition at the moment. I know Jacob Kiraz, congratulations, is leading the Dally M's. Ezra Mann is the best player in the competition at the moment.
Did you see the other night, Payne Haas sat with 20 minutes to go and everyone's going, get him on, and they're like, no, just wait. Comes on, 2 runs, 2 passes, 2 tries, game's blown open. He, Carrigan and Flegler are the best middle in the game right now. I think Brisbane do this. I don't think it'll be easy, but I think they'll get them late, much like we saw this past weekend.
Your Saturday afternoon footy fixture does not start at 3 o'clock in the NRL. It does with New South Wales Cup, as you pointed out though, Dan. At 5:30, we have game 3 of the 4X Cup.
It's worked out really well.
North Queensland Cowboys taking on your Gold Coast Titans.
Yeah, now cue but it's so hot in Queensland. It's always hot in Queensland. You know where else it's hot? Right here. Tighten up. Yee.
I didn't like that, but I'm with you on this one.
Felt good.
I'm with you on this one. Now, the Gold Coast Titans fans actually need to thank me because on the weekend I tweeted out that every year I buy into your hype and every year these losers let me down. And they won.
To the second.
They
went
bang, bang.
very, very well. I like what I see from this Titans outfit. I don't think they've even hit top yet. David Fafita's got to realise he's David Fafita. AJ Brimson, now that he's playing his preferred position, has been really, really good. Kieran Foran got hooked, came on and won man of the match. I don't totally agree with that, but I like
I did tell you that to wind you up. It was Tanner Boyd.
Okay, fair enough. Well, Tanner Boyd should have got hooked and came on and won man of the match. Yeah. So, Titans for me, mate. I think the Cowboys have been found out and they're very ordinary.
Again, like the Sharks, they haven't added a lot to it. Plus, they have Chad Townsend. Yep. They're getting the Chad tax this year.
That's it. It's pays biting.
Yeah, I'm going the Titans as well.
Titans.
And a pretty good game to finish off your Saturday night. South Sydney host the Manly Warriors Seagulls, who are also undefeated.
Yeah.
I really like Manly in this game.
Yeah, me too.
Shaq Mitchell, you've told me, out for the year with a broken foot.
Tola, injured? Potentially the season.
Yeah.
Their middles right now, Tom Burgess and not much else, because Saleh's going to miss, HA.
Yeah.
I think Arrow's gone again. I think Moali's the only fit forward I can name. So obviously they've got some players that can come in and play middle. Very, very makeshift. Manly right now firing. Tommy Turbo's on fire, and when he's up, everyone's up. Ruben Garrick's the best winger in the world when Tommy Turbo plays.
When Tom Turbo plays, this Manly team is so dangerous.
They just click. Josh Schuster.
Yeah.
His first game full time in the six was like 9 out of 10.
Because he had Turbo.
Well,
but it's Cooper Johns.
Yeah.
When he played there, when he played at the six, he looked sensational and really hard to drop him as well. So I really like Manly in this, and I like Manly big.
Yeah, I like Manly big. I think
Manly big.
I think the Bunnies, they let one go on Friday night. They blew a couple of tries when they were up early. I don't think they get the chance against Manly.
The game's over at halftime. I'm thinking. Dan, we get a Super Sunday.
Super Sunday.
It is a Super Sunday. And it kicks off with a really good game. 2 teams in the top 8. Wouldn't have thought.
Across the Tasman too.
Yeah. New Zealand Warriors host the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Improved Bulldogs.
Yeah.
They look really good. I do think the Warriors being at home, though, is going to get them.
I'm going to go with the Dogs. Now, I know their last 10 minutes against the Tigers was it's terrible. The preceding 70 minutes wasn't too bad. It's not going to be 45 degrees over there.
And exactly right. The Warriors played in dreadful conditions up in Townsville. Good 14-point win.
Big win in Townsville,
Big win up there in Townsville.
I think that's their first win in Australia in a long, long time.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to back the Warriors on this one.
I dare say there's going to be some points in this. I think the Dogs get them, and they get them late. I just think there's a little bit too much class there, but this is going to be fun.
It's going to be a fun game. What isn't going to be a fun game, Dan? 4 o'clock, your Sunday afternoon is ruined.
The marquee time slot.
It's ruined. Knights and Raiders, who you got?
Pass.
No, Daniel, you have to pick someone.
Not Newcastle.
Yeah, I'm going not Newcastle either. I'm going to go the Raiders on this one. This is going back, I can't remember the last time Newcastle won at home. It's been a really, really long time.
Not Newcastle.
Yeah, not Newcastle. Raiders for the win here. I don't care how, I don't care why they're winning. And your Sunday afternoon will be even more ruined if you're a Dragons fan or a Sharks fan, because this game will be terrible.
Big brother, little brother, can't wait.
A Sunday 6 o'clock time slot for one of the biggest derbies in the NRL.
Yeah, but for once we didn't cop the home game. We usually get the bad one. We get the good one this year because we're big brother now.
Yeah, look, both teams come off disappointing performances. Not so much for the Dragons for 70 minutes. Their final 10 minutes was really, really atrocious. For us, it was a mixed bag. We had 10 minutes that was really atrocious, which cost us the game as well.
It did. But only one team has Nico Hines, mate.
Yeah, and if he plays, Cronulla win.
Yeah, I think they do. Now, we tried. We combined the power of the Jinx last week to beat the Hoodoo in Canberra, and we couldn't do it. So I'm tipping Cronulla to see if that works. Willing to try anything at this stage? Surely it's time to get those fins up.
I'm tipping the Sharks as well this week, just because that St George team is hopeless. Hey, well, thanks for tuning into another episode of Rugby League Outlaws brought to you by Puncture Media, our good friends at Top Sport, onelittlefootyfan.com.au and the Stubby Club. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Give them some love.
Yeah, give everyone some love. We're in a real loving mood at the moment.
I'm in a great mood, yeah. Absolutely. We'll see how long that lasts.
We really appreciate your comments, your feedback on Twitter, all the socials. We read it.
Are the microphones working this week?
Yeah, we absolutely love it. I was not wearing boxer shorts last weekend either.
See, that's the kind of feedback I love. Is
cool.
Terry wearing boxer shorts? No.
Thank you.
He's going free ball, baby. No.